Once you find your niche, you need to figure out what blogging platform you're going to use, whether you're going to have it hosted by another company or you're going to do self-hosted. So we're going to look at hosted versus self-hosted. What that is we're going to focus on two different blog platforms. We're going to look at blogger.com or WordPress. WordPress is a blogging script. It's very widely used and it's very customizable. Now, there are pros and cons to both different blogging platforms. I'm going to provide you with the pros and cons of each. Then you can decide which blogging system is better for your business. Now, I'm not going to say that either or is inferior to each other. It really depends on where you are as a business. And there are a lot of pros of each, and there are some cons of each as well. Let's start by talking about the hosted blogging platform, which is Google's Blogger.com. Right now you're looking at Blogger.com. If you go to Google and you type in Blogger, you will find the website if you don't know how to get there. But it's just, as you see, blogger.com. Now, Blogger.com is owned by Google, which means that Google hosts your blog. And best of all, it's free. Now, the good side and the good advantages of having a hosted solution, in this case, is usually they are free to run. They're very easy to set up. In fact, you can set up your own Blogger.com blog within a few minutes. It's simple to run. You can get indexed in the search engines quickly, which is very nice because with Blogger.com, a lot of blogs, if you create them and you have them pinged and you have ping set up, then you can get indexed within maybe 24 to 48 hours just by setting up that blog. Now, the downside of having a Blogger.com blog is customization. You're not going to be able to customize the look of Blogger.com's blogs as much as you would with a self-hosted solution such as WordPress. And you're going to have a generic URL. You're going to have bloggername.blogspot.com. And let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and log in. All you need to have is a Gmail account or a Google account. And what you do is log in. And as you can see here, I've got a lot of little small blogs here and there. And to create a blog, all you have to do is log in, click on create a blog, and then you're going to name the blog title and the blog address. So as you can see, everybody that has a Blogger.com blog gets some sort of URL that is similar to each other. Now, if you feel like you don't want to go with a self-hosted solution like WordPress because you're worried all about the technical issues and things like that, and you don't want to deal with that right now, then maybe Blogger.com is good for you. Now, I'm going to show you an example here. All you have to do is choose a blog title and then choose a blog address and then enter this and you're almost done. What I could do here is, let's say that I am creating a blog on weightlifting. Let's say I talk about bench press techniques. Before you actually name your blog title, I do want to mention that for search engine optimization purposes, I would recommend that you go to google.com and at least do some research on specific keywords that you might be interested in ranking on, because with the hosted solution with Blogger.com, you're being hosted on Google's Blogger.com domain. And because of that, you have a better opportunity of getting indexed quick, but also I've used this method of creating a title that has a keyword in there that I want to rank on. And a lot of times, if you update your Blogspot blog frequently and that niche is not extremely high competitive, you can get to the top 10 just by using this method. And I do a search on Google and I find about 7 million, and I see bodybuilding.com is at the top. And you see videos up here. Videos are not also a good way to get to the top. But back to the main subject here, I see that this is a highly competitive keywords. So I might want to change that keyword to something else. Maybe something like bench press secrets. So I can go back here and call it bench press secrets. And it's a good habit to capitalize everything because it makes things easier to read. So I could call it bench press secrets. And I also want to check the availability to make sure that it is available. And it says this blog address is available, and I just have to type in the words I see here. Then you have your advanced options. Now, Blogger does offer an opportunity for you to host that blog elsewhere. However, as far as customization goes, I found that Blogger blogs were still not as customizable versus WordPress blogs. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just click on continue. And the next step is to choose a template. Blogger offers you many templates, as you can see here, and it's good web design to keep things on a white background just so that people can see it. So I'm going to choose something simple, choose this one, and I'm going to click continue. And my blog has been created, and that's it. Now, when you're viewing Blogger.com's dashboard, if you go up here to the dashboard and you click on settings, you can actually edit and you can change different settings like the description. You can add a description for search engine optimization purposes so that you do make your blog search engine friendly. And it says here, let search engines find your blog if you want it to be a public blog. And you want to say yes, you want to leave these default like this. So now you see how easy it is to set it up. It's free, it's hosted, you don't have to pay for any hosting, you don't have to pay for a domain name or anything like that. However, next we're going to talk about WordPress, and I'm going to show you WordPress and how to create a WordPress blog. The first thing you're going to need is a domain name, which you can find by going to namecheap.com. And you can find available domain names. You're going to need a domain name and web hosting. I would recommend to get web hosts by going to webhostingtalk.com, which is a forum. You just go to Google and type web hosting talk, and you can look for special offers. Look for shared hosting offers. And a lot of these places you can pay like $10 a year and still get quality web hosting. And that's the reason why I'm forwarding you to this forum, because there's a lot of competition among web hosting companies here. So they're willing to give you a whole year's worth for just a measly $10 or even less. So maximum amount of money you would have to invest would be about $10 for the domain name, $10 to $20 for hosting, so that's about $20 to $30 a year, and that's not expensive at all. And especially if you have Fantastico, you can install WordPress actually quicker than setting up the Blogger.com blog. So what I'm going to do here is log into my own site, into the cPanel. And if you've never used cPanel before, it's basically a web hosting panel that manages everything in your domain name. And what I can do is scroll down and find this blue smiley face, which is Fantastico. Fantastico, if you don't know what that is either, it's just a large bundle of lots and lots of free software that you can use. So if you find WordPress, which is under the blog section, you can create a WordPress blog very, very quickly. Now, before we actually create a WordPress blog, I do want to talk about the pros and cons of having WordPress on your website. The pros is that you can get full customization of the design. You can change the design. There's thousands of themes out there, but you can still change it. And you got full customization of the content. You can change the content You can change the material within the site. If you don't want a link that links to, for example, blogger.com, you have links that link to Blogger. And at the top of Blogger, you have links that link to other blogs. If you're running a business blog, you want to focus on doing self-hosting just because you don't want links that go to your competition, because that defeats the purpose of a business blog. WordPress is really not that hard to set up as long as you have a domain name and web hosting set up and with Fantastico. And in fact, I'll show you how to install that in a minute, and it's actually quite easy to do. The only downside of this is that it's a little more complicated to set up just because you have the domain name web hosting. It does cost money, but as I said earlier, it'll range from $20 to $30 if you find the sites that I showed you. And you got to worry about hosting issues, which means that your website might go down. But that's with any website anyways. So my recommendation is to go self-hosted, just because in the long run you're going to have to set up domain names anyways, and you could even set this up on your main website that provides a product. So that's my recommendation to you, but it's really up to you which way you want to go to. And if you feel like the technical issue is really stopping you, then don't let it stop you. Go with blogger.com. So back to WordPress, which is a blogging platform. All I have to do is click on New Installation. And then I want to choose the directory which I want the blog to be located. If you want your blog to be located on your front page, whatever yourdomain.com, if I want my blog to be on the front page, I'm going to leave this area blank. However, I don't want that, so I want to create it in a directory. So what I'm going to do here is just call it test ABC, and then I'm going to have my administrative username, which I'm going to just call it test ABC because I'm going to create this for test purposes and delete it later. And then you want to include your site name, and then all you have to do is, after you do all that, is to click install WordPress, and you're almost done. Click on finish installation, and within 5 to 10 seconds, that's it. Now, before you move ahead, you do need to save this information. I recommend entering your email in here so that WordPress can send you an email with that information in it. And then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to open the WordPress administrative area. And here's the dashboard. As you can see, it's a little more complicated than the blogger.com dashboard. However, it's very similar because you have posts, you can edit posts, you can create links, you can change the appearance of your WordPress blog. By default, it's going to look like this. However, to change the look, all you have to do is basically go to FTP. FTP is basically a program that you can use to get into your WordPress blog. So in this case, I put it into the test ABC location. So under test ABC, there's a WP content folder which you can upload your themes to. So if you go to themes, you'll see that there are 2 themes here. Just like here, you see there's 2 themes. What I recommend is, if you do want to change your design, to just go to google.com, type in WordPress themes, and you can find thousands, lots and lots of themes out there. There's probably over 1 million themes actually. There are some themes that, if you want to get really professional, that I use. If you go to woothemes.com, it's a funny name, but it's a lot of great professional themes that don't even look like a blog. And this is another way that you can stand out from all the other WordPress bloggers out there, is that your theme doesn't look like a blog. But what you do here is you're turning it into a content management system. So basically you can integrate your blog and your website together. So that's another good site to look into. And of course, there are many people out there. If you don't know how to, install your themes and you want to hire somebody to do that, you can always find lots of people who are willing to do that as well for a small cost. And if you're asking where, you can go to a site called Digital Point Forums. If you go to Google here and type in Digital Point Forums, and you go to the buy, sell, or trade section, you can find thousands of people who would be willing to edit your WordPress themes, customize them, and make them unique. Because it's all about uniqueness. If you stand out and you're self-hosted and you have a uniqueness about you that other blogging sites or other websites don't have, then that's going to stand out. Okay, so you got two platforms here, Blogger.com and WordPress. Which one's better? I would recommend WordPress. However, I've had a lot of success with Blogger.com as well. So pick and choose what's best for you, and good luck.